Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and you've probably by now seen the thumbnail of this video with the exclamation marks on the end. Well, that's because in Germany there's something called the Reinheitsgebot. It's a German purity law in that you have to use 4 ingredients to be able to call it a beer, or only 4 ingredients to call it beer. If you have a 5th ingredient, it's not allowed to be called beer, legally in Germany. So hops, malt, yeast and water, generally the 4 ingredients. And it's kind of tough to be able to produce, say, a double IPA or a Russian Imperial Stout, or that sort of thing, without bleeding those lines, if you like, breaking those lines, breaking those boundaries of the 4 ingredients. There's also in Germany a big tradition in Kellerbier and Weissbier and Dunkels and Dunkel Weisses, and just people know what they want to drink in Germany. So when you see a pale ale from Germany, you go, ooh, that's a bit different. That might be a little bit American inspired. And this is what we have today. Zuagroast Pale Ale. It's by Chestnut Brewing Company. 500 milliliter bottle, 5.7% ABV, so very close to that kind of American cut-off point of what a pale ale should be, which is up to 6% ABV, very close at 5.7. Dark brown bottle, there's the bottle cap. Little bit of condensation on the bottle. The beer's been out the fridge now about 25 minutes, so it's had a chance to warm up a little bit, but I'm still able to enjoy the beer cold. The reason I do that is that I don't want to drink my beer freezing cold. If I was to drink this pale ale freezing cold, 4 degrees out the fridge, I would lose some of that malt flavour. I would lose some of that hop flavour. Mainly the malt, I find. If you warm a beer up a little bit, you really do pick up that malt more. So my perfect beer drinking temperature would probably be between 8 and 10 degrees. You're able to pick up the malt there. And I went to a mate's house, and my mate was interested in craft beer. And he bought this 12 malt beer, and I think it was from Bristol Beer Factory. He got it straight out the fridge, and I was drinking this, and he was like, I paid good money for this, and I was thinking, yeah, it's all right. So it was a beautiful hot sunny day. I put the beer down for 10-15 minutes. I think we were doing something. I think we played football with the kids or something like that. Anyway, I went back to my beer 10-15 minutes later. I picked up the same beer, and it had transformed itself. It warmed up a little bit, and it transformed itself into this wonderful, I remember this beer, and I've drunk tens of thousands of beers. I remember this specific beer because it was a scientific process of, it's not very good freezing cold, but warmed up a little bit. It was fantastic. It was really good. So it was kind of like a learning process for me to pull my beers out the fridge for 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe before I decide to drink them. We got a 1 finger whitehead on the beer. There's good levels of carbonation. It's a hazy looking pale ale. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? The beer's available from our channel sponsor, beersofeurope.co.uk. Beers of Europe, the largest online beer store in the UK, with a fabulous range of beers from all over the world. If you've travelled abroad, if you've been on holiday a few times, if you've worked away and you found that fantastic beer that you think, oh, I wish I could get that back in the UK. I wish I could have that in my own fridge back home. The best place to find it would be beersofeurope.co.uk. On with the beer review. Aroma. First of all, is there any sediment? Not really. It is unfiltered though. Aroma. Yeah, first of all, I got that malt. I got that kind of biscuity, kind of German malt. But then behind that, lurking behind that was this lovely sort of kind of tangerine, slightly citrusy, juicy. Yeah, it smells good. It smells really good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah. Ooh. Stone the Crows. Just about to speak and the bitterness went, have a bit of that. Bitterness kind of caught me right on the back of the jawline. Like a being it. You know, I live in a dock town, so I'm used to, not now, not these days, but you know, when you get caught on the chin, bingo, poof. That bitterness really caught right there, right on the jawline there. Oof. Sailor, I think, a place called Barry. Barry was the biggest coal exporter in the world. It's a big dock town, this, so lots of kind of people from all over the place. You've only got to look at somebody the wrong way, especially when you're young. When I was in school, you look at somebody the wrong way. Madness, like. So my initial, before I got interrupted by the bitterness of the beer, the hops in the beer, was this malt. It was the malt. It was. I was about to say, oh, this is lovely and cute, and it's like a German version of an American pale ale, where you're picking up a lot of that German malt to begin with, which you do. You are. But then it kind of like a hybrid car. It flips between petrol and battery power. It's like doing this kind of traditional petrol thing to begin with. Well, it's probably the other way around if it's hybrid, isn't it? But it does this traditional kind of like malty start. And then the hybrid bit kicks in and the hops kick in and it becomes American. It becomes an American pale ale. It's like German beer to start over here. That lovely, reassuring German malty, biscuity mouthfeel. And then this lovely, hoppy, aromatic, orange, citrusy, grapefruity, bitter smack on the back end. It's great. It really is great. I've drunk a few of these beers now from this brewery. I just reviewed a Kellerbier. So a lot of their beers are traditional. The Kellerbier was fantastic. It was really, really good. Kellerbier, let me grab it. Zwickel Kellerbier, part of their Hallertauer series. This is number 2. So I think they're just brewing a lot of their beers with, this is number 3. Zuagroast. Or Zuagroast. Zuagroast Pale Ale. I like this brewery because it's offering a balance. It's offering specifically this beer. You can buy some traditional beer from them. You can also go a bit wacky and order an American style pale ale that's uniquely the quality of malt in Germany. I knew a gentleman, sadly passed away now, but he worked for one of the big German maltsters, and he would travel. I met him in Poland, and he was following all the craft breweries, and he was kind of like being friendly with them. Of course, when I say being friendly, he was one of the boys. He was one of the boys, and he would sell them a lot of malt because he could see this craft beer scene developing, or the Germans could see this craft beer scene developing with their neighbours in Poland, and they were like, oh, well, we'll have we'll sell them our malt. So Andreas, his name was, I can't remember his surname off the top of my head. Sadly passed away now. He wasn't much older than me, which is scary. He actually filmed one of my videos in Poland, in Zwickel brewery. He filmed one of my videos, but that's another story completely. But my point here is that the Germans produce terrific malt. They really do. Probably one of the best maltsters in the world are German maltsters, and you can taste it in this beer. You can taste that great quality malt in the beer. That slightly kind of stinging nettle flavour too comes bursting through. Great carbonation, orange, peppery, spicy grapefruit, New World Pale Ale on the back end. Great, I like it. Rating for this one, available from beersofeurope.co.uk, as I mentioned earlier on. I like this enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.